yeah, the Lord has spoke to me last night. And he was telling me um, how we are. Well, since that this is the year that we're going to be in restoration. Um, that the Lord said to me that there is, including myself, but there is that we're so afraid of walking into our man hood.
Right.
And so for as far as women, I'm talking about womenhood and no femininity for women and masculinity for men. But the Lord said that we are, some of us are afraid to walk into our man, uh no, our masculinity in the Lord. And so when the Lord was saying this to me, I was trying to understand, how does the Lord want me to where to go about, teaching this. And the Lord was explaining to me, he wanted me to explain what a man is. And so therefore you could, I want to say, have a clear understanding, of who you are, so then that you could finally do the thing that God has created you to do. So if you do have your scripture, then I will be in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28. I will be reading from the Message translation. And it reads here in my scripture, it say, God spoke, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature, so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, even earth itself, and every animal that moves in the face of earth. God created human beings. He created them godlike, reflecting God's nature. And he created them male and female. God blessed them. Well, it say, then he blessed them by saying, prosper, reproduce, fill earth, take charge, and be responsible for fish in the sea and birds in the air, for every living thing that moves on the face of earth. So, there are just I read you Genesis 1, 26 through 28. And so as we do read here, for the Bible said that God has created man within his own image. And man is not referring to the male species as in referring to just the boy, or just referring to it just me as me being a male. It's not referring to just me, but the man is referring to mankind as in male and female. And so what this means is that God created women as much as he has created us as man. And so he want the both of us to be of his likeness, and a reflection of him. And so I do want it to also for it to be understood that all of us as men have a different, I want to say, quality about us that where that actually differentiate me from another man. And so this is why when you talk to one man, he thinks one way, and you talk to another man, he thinks another way. And so all of us have a different, I want to say, characteristics that is about us that makes us us. So now I do want you to understand that man is a tripart being. And with this being said, then man is a spirit just like God, and we live in a body, and we have a soul, spirit, body, and soul. And so you will find it in Genesis 2 and 7. Um, God had created us in his likeness so that we can perfect his nature in knowledge. And so so how do we step into our manhood is by taking on the things of God, and that's referring to our knowledge. And the knowledge part is the way how we think. And so this is just isn't referring to the books that we read, but this is referring to also to the I want to say to the people who we connect with, who we get our information from, who we are inspired by. And so, any forms of words that's being exchanged from one man to another, that is referring to us building up knowledge. And so whether or not if what they're saying is true or false, we're still in taking that. And so that is all knowledge. So you can find that in Colossians 3:10. No, another form that God wants us to take up of him is righteousness and holiness. So righteousness is the work has already been laid out. And so that is just for us to take hold of what has already been prepared. And so just like when God created, before the 5 days, God created, the I want to say the sun, the moon, all those, like the waters, the fish, and all of that. When he was creating all of that, he was preparing all of that for us to take hold of it. And so here, holiness is again, like righteousness and holiness go hand in hand. So being holy, is not about, no, it's just it's just not about us staying away from sin, but it's all about us actually as I reflect, that good part about him, or that character about him. You will find that in Ephesians 4:24. And last but not least, he created us to have dominion, which I like to say leadership of the earth. And so one of the things that I do that I'm not gonna dive into it this Sunday, but next Sunday I will. But here in the scripture it says that God created us to be God like him, to reflect in his nature. And so the natures part I'm referring to is to the knowledge, the righteousness, and the holiness, and the leadership. So it says, so once we begin to take on those characteristics, then we can be able to prosper, to reproduce, to fill the earth, which means to have children, to take charge. As in other words, that means to take responsibility. I'm sorry, no authority. And so be responsible for the fish in the sea and birds in the air, and this referring to everything that God has put inside of our hands. And so so man is a tripart being. We are a spirit that possesses. We are a spirit that lives in a body, and we possess a soul, which our soul is our will, our emotions, and our thoughts. And so when we actually understand that we want to build up our likeness in God in those three areas, and that's in the spirit, that's in the natural, in the physical, and that's also in the emotional, which is what our soul, and our soul also reflects the mind, which is the way how we think as well. So we want to be of God in those three areas, in the spirit, in the physical body, or in other words, your physical body, and also the spirit or mind, will, and emotion. So we want to be emotionally connected to God. If we want to be, what I say, will, the thoughts. So we want to have the thoughts of God, mind, will, and mind, will, and emotion. So the emotional and the thought process is the two things that we want to have, that we do want to have. And as I said before, the body, the physical, is referring to the prosperity. So when you hear people prosper, or people saying prophecies, then that's referring to us maintaining, whether it is, if it's physical money, that is a physical attribute. So, getting a new car, a new house, or a child, or birthing a child into the world, that is all being physically blessed. And so God wants us to take hold of that. And last but not least, our spirit, which is that we can only go to God for that. That is why we have the Holy Spirit there to guide us spiritually. Yeah, I do want to speak over to your life the sevenfold blessings. I speak blessings of health for you and your family. So I speak blessings of deliverance from any habits that you have in your life. I speak blessings of peace to your mind from anybody or anything that may be disturbing you. I speak blessings of salvation to any friends or loved ones. I speak blessings of comfort to any person hurting, lonely, bereaved, or confused. I speak blessings of finances, of debt cancellation, of prosperity, and economic empowerment to all of God's people according to his riches and glory. And number 7, I speak blessings of anointings and promotions in your life to complete your assignment, to move forward in your purpose.